Day 1, we don't explore. Today, we build something that keeps us alive.
In 0.38G, walking becomes controlled floating as I guide the pallet with a tether, then verify the rail stops click fully into place.
3 boxes, 3 rules. Soil, water, seeds, everything else is just noise.
Water is condition 1. Drink, heat, oxygen, fuel, it's the whole stack.
In 0.38 Dream, walking becomes controlled floating as I tap the inspection port, then verify the humidity card inside stays in the safe color band.
Mars doesn't fight loud. It wins with cold, thin air.
If we get one room right this week, we get a future. That's the deal.
7 days. Seal it, warm it, water it, plant it, then prove it survives.
No greenhouse, no plants. No plants, no long game. Simple.
This frame is our first micro-Earth. If it leaks, we lose the week.
In 0.38 grams, walking becomes controlled floating as I smooth wrinkles, then verify edges overlap at least a hand width.
In 0.388G, walking becomes controlled floating as I seat a joint pin, then verify the lock tab clicks and won't pull back out.
In 0.38 grams, walking becomes controlled floating as I repeat pin seat check, then verify the whole arc stands without sagging.
A nail-sized leak is a countdown. We catch it now, not at midnight.
That shape?
That's not plastic, that's shelter.
If dust rides in, seals die. If seals die, we do. Airlock is law.
Watch that line climb. That's your second chance, 1 kilopascal at a time.
And there it is, Mars's favorite move. A tiny problem that becomes a body count.
Leak detection is boring on Earth. Here, it's a superpower. Circle the threat. Make it physical. That's how you win stress.
In 0.38G, walking becomes controlled floating as I check the horizon glow, then verify darkness is coming by reading the sun angle gauge on my stand.
Daylight is a resource. When it's gone, repairs get stupid fast. The hardest skill here isn't science, it's resisting the rush.
failed the night test, so we earn our seal.
This is what kills crews, not explosions. Slow losses you ignore.
Layer 1, seal. Layer 2, survive vibration. Layer 3, survive my paranoia.
This is the real Mars tech. Pressure, patience, and a clamp you trust. No bubbles. That's not luck. This is earned.
Okay, now we can do the thing everyone came for. Grow.
Mars sunlight is unreliable, so we bring our own day.
On Earth, power is convenience. Here, power is oxygen, heat, and time.
Every system gets a backup. Mars doesn't care how confident you feel.
In 0.38G, walking becomes controlled floating as I lift the sealed tank into place, then verify the tank's pressure cap indicator stays centered.
Water here wants to be ice. If it freezes, everything downstream dies.
In 0.38G, walking becomes controlled floating as I lock the filter housing, then verify the seal by torque mark alignment.
No open water. Everything sealed. Every drop accounted for.
If you can see flow and it's bubble-free, you can trust tomorrow.
In 0.38G, walking becomes controlled floating as I snap trays into rails, then verify each tray is level using a small clip-on bubble level.
Round 2 with soil. This is the base layer of home.
This isn't Mars dirt. This is Earth biology, handled like medicine.
If the soil's wrong, the seeds don't fail, we fail.
Sunset on Mars is pretty. Don't let it fool you.
Fast, reliable, and a long shot. That's how you diversify survival.
Act 1, shelter built. Act 2, seeds meet Mars. No excuses.
In 0.38G, walking becomes controlled floating as I place seeds with a tweezer tool, then verify spacing using the tray grid, no doubles.
Backups aren't pessimism. They air how you survive probability. In 0.38 grams, walking becomes controlled floating as I cover the seeds lightly, then verify depth with a marked scoop, barely buried, by design.
Too deep and they rot. too shallow and they dry. This is precision.
Plants don't need Mars. They need consistency.
If something fails, labels tell you why. No mystery deaths. Plants don't give you oxygen fast. Machines do. Plants are the long bet.
In 0.38 grams, walking becomes controlled floating as I secure the jar in a clamp, then verify no bubbles cling to the seal line.
That drop is a heartbeat. Too fast, you drown. Too slow, you dry. This is how storms start. Quiet. Then suddenly everything is moving.
In 0.38 G, walking becomes controlled floating as I close interior baffles, then verify dust stays outside by checking the entry gasket tape strip remains clean.
You manage risk. Lower strain, keep seals, protect the seeds.
Tight line. Stable frame. That's the difference between chaos and control.
Pressure stable. That's your oxygen budget staying alive.
Dust doesn't look like much until it steals your watts.
G, walking becomes floating as I switch lights to low power mode, then verify the flicker stops and... Battery on. We just bought ours, but we also spent our cushion.
Too wet and you grow fungus. Too dry and you grow nothing.
Less light, less growth, more survival. That's the swap.
Come on. One crack, one sign. Just give me proof.
No sprouts doesn't mean dead. It means diagnose.
Cold seeds sleep. Warm seeds wake. Heat costs power. Pick.
You feel that? That's the whole base arguing with itself.
Save the sprouts. If we can grow, we can stay.
Walking becomes controlled floating as I lower the dome gently, then verify condensation remains light, humidity still safe.
Not again. The worst bugs are the ones that come back.
In 0.38 G, walking becomes controlled floating as I scan every seam line, then verify a tiny scuff catches the light.
That's it. A scratch. Mars will kill you with office supply size damage.
Hold. Don't slide. 30 seconds is the difference between seal and smear.
You don't win Mars. You just keep it from winning today.
"6 hours is forever when you're waiting on a seed to answer you."
There! That said yes. Mars just said yes, barely.
We track everything, because the second sprout teaches the next fix.
Mars didn't welcome us. It just tolerated us for 1 second.
In 0.38 G, walking becomes controlled floating as I check the solar output again, then verify it's still suppressed by haze.
Day 5. We're running on fumes. And the sprouts are finally awake.
In rope 0.38 G, walking becomes controlled floating as I watch COC sensor, then verify it stays within safe band.
If you can't add watts, you steal photons back.
In 0.38 grams, walking becomes controlled floating as I mark the spot, then verify it's in a different tray. Diversification worked.
That's a trend. Trends are how you plan. Trends are how you live.
Plants help later. Right now, COCC climbs faster than optimism.
In 0.38 G, walking becomes controlled floating as I vent for 10 seconds, then verify COCC dips and pressure holds.
Every fix costs something. The trick is paying the smallest price.
Short vents only. We're not trading sprouts for a COC panic.
Week 2 is oxygen. Because hope doesn't fix hypoxia.
We're climbing out. Slow, but climbing.
In 0.38G, walking becomes controlled floating as I raise lights to 60%, then verify no flicker and power draw remains safe.
Green means the loop is working. Green means we can start believing.
Consistency beats intensity. That's farming. That's survival.
If you can measure it, you can manage it. If you can't, you're guessing.
You don't treat every tray the same. You quarantine failure before it spreads.
Mars won't just starve you. It'll rot your food if you get sloppy.
Act 2 ends where it always ends. At night, with nothing guaranteed.
This isn't a greenhouse. It's a treaty with a hostile world.
Not enough oxygen for people, but enough data to keep building.
Act 3. Stabilize, measure, and set up the oxygen upgrade. No drama, just results.
Pressure holds. That's the first "we survived" stamp.
Water loop steady. That's your farming engine staying online.
Numbers keep you honest. Looks good doesn't feed you.
This is the first week's win. Not terraform, just survive and grow.
In 0.38G, walking becomes controlled floating as I restart the fan bank, then verify airflow with a ribbon test, steady flutter.
Airflow back on, COCC down. That's the kind of cause and effect you trust.
Oxygen's up? Barely. Enough to prove the system, not enough to brag.
In 0.38 genes, walking becomes controlled floating as I check the jar for cloudiness, then verify it remains clean, no contamination bloom.
Next upgrade, fast oxygen. Algae doesn't wait for feelings.
Not yet. Harvest too early, and you steal tomorrow from yourself.
Small water. Small stress. Keep them growing, not drowning.
Soil, water, seeds. That's the trilogy. Everything else supports it.
This is the win. Stable environment and living sprouts. Not a fantasy, data.
Proof beats hype. Measure it, then talk.
Tiny leaves make tiny oxygen. That's why week 2 is an oxygen machine.
The leak taught the lesson. Tine failures don't stay tiny. That first sprout wasn't food. It was permission to keep going.
Next problem is oxygen. Not vibes, oxygen.
Soil has to be alive. Week 2 starts building biology, not just containers.
Week 2, we build a faster oxygen loop because plants are too slow.
Pick the next crop. Microgreens, beans, or tubers. Tell me why in the comments.
This is how you build a planet into a home, one logged day at a time. In 0.38G, walking becomes controlled floating as I set the night profile, then verify the amp meter settles into the safe band. They're small, but they're alive. And on Mars, that's everything. In 0.38G, walking becomes controlled floating as I look across the plane, then verify visibility improves by reading the horizon marker distance.
The audio contains a voiceover delivered through helmet speakers, under a dome or under dirt.
Week 2 starts now. If we boost oxygen, this stops being a visit and becomes a life.